What's up, Bulls Nation, and welcome into the CHGO Bulls podcast. Presented to you by PointsBet. Don't forget that promo code CHGO when signing up your PointsBet account to live your bet life. I'm Peck. You can follow me on Twitter at Bulls_Peck. That's Big Dave. He's on Twitter at BAWL Sports. Will the GOAT Gottlieb at Won't Gottlieb. We are CHGO_Bulls. We got our producer Joey hanging out with us per usual here at our downtown studio. Guys, we are 26 hours away from NBA free agency officially opening.
That just made it feel so real.
Right?
Yeah.
26 hours from now, it's going to be 5:03 Chicago time, and we're all going to be
Bamba
just
to a contract, baby.
doing this on our phones. Refresh. So set your alerts, people. Don't get fooled tomorrow.
Yes.
A lot of news has just come out between doing yesterday's show and today's show. So we had a plan for what we were going to do today, and about an hour ago, we said, 180, we're just going to talk about all the latest news and buzz and rumors and updates about all of the players who could be on AK and Eversley's radar coming into free agency starting tomorrow. Are you guys ready?
Yes, but I think you're burying the lead right now. Guys, I'm on set with the Burke brothers. The Burke brothers are in effect today. They are here. They're on it, baby. The Burke brothers are in. Yes, they are. They are here.
Yeah. Summertime.
The graphic does not get old.
It doesn't. It's an amazing graphic.
We are in the last week of June. It is a gorgeous and hot day out here in Chicago.
I hate it.
If you aren't wearing Burks on your feet, you aren't living life correctly.
Or you can have cool shoes like me, but whatever. Yeah.
Look at those prisons. I mean, they look cool on the outside, but on the inside, they're prisons.
That's why you don't wear socks.
The other lead that we can't bury is right before we went on the air, Will sat down and said, guys, I'm in such a bad place right now.
Oh, no.
Will, tell us why you're in a bad place.
Well, it's just all the news that's happening. Hartenstein being courted heavily by the Orlando Magic makes me sad.
Why you want to go to Orlando, Hartenstein?
I don't know.
Dave doesn't care.
I don't. I like him. I do, but I don't care. If we don't get him, I'm okay. I'll be all right.
I guess where I'm at right now is, and maybe this is just being completely irrational because it's so hot outside. But I feel like they need to make a big move. I think we're listening a lot and hearing about all these teams that need to make a big move. I don't think you can bank on health.
Okay.
I don't think you can bank on DeMar and Vooch being better next season than they were last season. Maybe Zach is better. Maybe he's less injured. Maybe Lonzo is back. But they need to do something big, and it just seems less and less likely at this point. But we'll talk all about it.
It's not completely out of the question because one of the things that we're going to talk about today is the latest updates on Rudy Gobert. Meanwhile, Lou wants to know what Dave is saying as we introduce.
Now I don't want to tell you.
It's a secret.
Now I don't want to tell
secret.
You.
Come on,
it's
tell
an
him.
Inside thing.
Tell him.
It's an inside thing, man. You know,
right.
It's the CHGO thing here, man. You know, just listen closely. Just listen closely next time. Tomorrow when you tune in, Lou, listen closely. I'll say it a little
It might be
slower.
more of a singing than a saying, you know?
It's a saying. No, it's a saying.
But I would say, there's definitely some musical.
Yeah,
you add some.
It's a rap song collaboration.
If he put on
singing a saying.
If he put on the subtitles option on YouTube, would it come out correctly?
I think, you know what, that would be amazing. If it did, that would be absolutely amazing. But tune in tomorrow, I promise you. And you're going to want to tune in tomorrow because it's going down tomorrow anyway, sir. So you're going to want to tune in tomorrow. All the free agency coverage that is going on, man. So just more reasons to enjoy what's going on.
It's going down for real. All right.
That's not a word.
Let's start with the biggest name, and it's a name that we've discussed multiple times over the last couple of weeks. It's Rudy Gobert. The three-time Defensive Player of the Year, an instant fix for the Bulls' interior defensive issues.
Why is that funny?
There are more updates, and these come courtesy of Matt Moore,
Shout out.
a.k.a. HP Basketball, of the Action Network. If you read his latest column from the Action Network on Rudy, this is the situation. Asking price will be steep, likely result in a prolonged negotiation that will tie up a team and hinder its ability to make moves while trying to finish the deal with Jazz's Danny Ainge, a notoriously difficult negotiator. The Bulls should be the odds-on favorite for what team Gobert is on next season, including the Jazz.
That is crazy.
That is insane.
That is crazy.
But this is consistent with what Matt Moore said when he was doing a podcast with our guy Adam Morris of DNVR Nuggets just a week or so ago. He said this essentially the same thing then. The Bulls, according to lots of executives around the league, are the front runners to land Gobert right now. A week later, he is saying the same thing.
Wow, that's so wild to me because I just don't feel like Patrick Williams is going. I'm sorry, I don't want to step on what
you're fine.
Get into, but I don't want to. Yeah, I don't feel like that's happening, but that's so wild for him to say to me. Like, I'm just like, really? How are the Bulls the front runners? What is he seeing that we're not seeing? Or at least me. What am I not seeing in this?
Well, he said that's kind of the sticking point is their willingness to include Patrick. And he thinks that, he speculates that they'll eventually have to. And that's really the only way this happens. Like, people are always saying, well, if they can get him with just Kobe and Vooch, that would be a fleece. Yeah, of course it would, but that's never going to happen. Sorry. So I do think that's a sticking point. Zach Lowe on his podcast with Bobby Marks yesterday said he does not think the Bulls are going to move Patrick. So who knows at this point? I think that's like the big decision, right?
Let me ask you a question about that Vooch and Kobe deal. Could you look at it and say they might consider it and want it because of the money, because the money that will be off the books for Gobert and the declining contract of Vooch and, Kobe basically a one-year guy? Could that be a sticking point also for them maybe considering that?
Meaning, like, you think it would be advantageous for them to get off of more money?
Yeah, for the Jazz to saying, you know what, we'll take that because we'll get from under this contract and we'll get a solid player, 2 solid players back.
I think so. I think that's part of it. But to me, if you're giving up that kind of caliber player, you need a prospect or you need multiple picks. And he's under contract for 4 more years. Like, I know that seems to be, a problem in a lot of Bulls fans' eyes. Like, we've got to keep him for 4 years. But I think that's advantageous because you don't have to worry about him leaving. Vooch is going to be unrestricted after this year. They're either going to have to extend him to some number that I don't know if that's such a good idea. I mean, he's going to be 32 this year. Would you really want to give him a 3-year contract into his 35 season? As the Jazz, who would be giving up their best player, like, if I'm them, you need a blue chip prospect. And so Pat definitely is a sticking point. But I'm sure the cap savings is a good benefit as well.
Yeah, and that's what Matt Moore pointed out, that, it's speculation for him, but if that deal goes down, that eventually the Bulls would, albeit reluctantly, include Patrick Williams in that deal to make it happen. The other interesting thing that he said about Gobert and teams that have the best odds at landing him right now is that Minnesota has emerged as another team that could pry Gobert from Utah and pair him with Towns in the front court, sort of have a, Duncan and Robinson kind of front court.
I don't like it.
Which would be something. No. But, yeah, Joey, throw it out one more time. Thank you. They also are talking about D'Angelo Russell perhaps being involved in this. If the 2 primary suitors for a Gobert trade are the Bulls and the Wolves, is Russell better than Vucevic and a filler? This is why some executives speculate, and I stress this, speculate, eventually Chicago will involve Patrick Williams in that deal. Without Williams, the Bulls' offer may not be the best on the table. Without Williams, I would go as far as to say it's definitely not the best deal on the table.
And honestly, it may not be anyway. We talk about Ayton and Gobert like it's a foregone conclusion that these guys are gone. They could very well be under contract with those teams still. And I think that gets a little bit lost. Definitely feels like a divorce is imminent, but it would not surprise me if the Suns, for example, matched a max offer sheet on Ayton and then just tried to trade him later. Yeah. So all that stuff is on the table as well.
Do you like this matchup, Gobert, Karl-Anthony Towns? I mean, you're a small ball guy. So
I think the NBA is kind of heading big again. Okay. But I think the reason why is because it's not just being big for the sake of being big. It's having skilled bigs.
Okay.
Because size is always going to be advantageous if that size is skilled. And so having a rim protector like Gobert and a shot maker post player like Towns, I mean, that would be impossible to defend. But at the same time, you probably sacrifice a lot in the way of switchability and trapping and things like that. So I think it's got its pros and cons for sure.
Get in the way of Edwards and his development. You know what I'm saying, by having those 2 guards there. But also, real quick, Will has said the word advantageous 3 times in the past 3 minutes, and I am damn impressed.
He also said he pronounced say Gobert again, like how you said it before.
That was a joke.
I know it was a joke, but after you said that, I spent the last 20 minutes doing this.
Get the Gobert.
Gobert parfait right there. I don't know why.
What kind of fruit is that in there?
Is that granola? Oh, you're right. What is that? Is that
looks a little weird to me. But
I've never seen a watermelon yogurt. What is that?
That's
you don't
weird.
eat yogurt, do you, Joey?
I eat yogurt.
You eat yogurt? Okay. I'm all right.
Rudy Gobert.
Rudy Gobert. But yeah, I think that would be get in the way of your best player. And I think you should be trying to develop around him instead of developing this. And he's got to get to the bucket. You know what I mean? He's got to get to the cup. And having two bigs down there kind of clogging up the lane.
Best shooting big of all time, Karl Anthony Towns.
True indeed.
He can stretch it out.
True indeed. That's true.
He won the 3-point contest, so that means he's the GOAT.
One of them can't be there is all I'm saying. One of them can't be there. And Edwards has to be the guy. He has shown himself to be that.
So, Will, I know you've kind of gone back and forth on whether or not you think just going all in for Rudy is a good idea. It seems like right now, at least the brain space you're in right now, is you thinking that the Bulls have to make a big move.
I'm going to regret this.
Good.
To put one more
Those are the best
legit
nights.
piece with Zach, with DeMar, with this group of guys to really contend next season.
Mm-hmm.
Is it Gobert? Is that the piece you want to see them make?
Well, all right. So there's a lot to unpack with this. One, I'll say, if you're not going all out, what are you doing? The Bulls are probably going to end up around where they are now in the standings, and you're probably going to get bounced in the first round again. Are you okay with that?
No.
Sounds like everybody wants to try to be better next year. Correct me if I'm wrong.
I think you're right, sir.
I think Gobert would be a great way to do that. Definitely understand the hesitancy about the contract and about giving up Patrick Williams. Not giving up on Patrick Williams, but using him to acquire Rudy Gobert. But yeah, I kind of feel that way right now. Like, the alternative is going out and signing Mo Bamba or Isaiah Hartenstein with the full mid-level exception. We can talk a little bit later about how the cap changed today. The estimation for what the cap will be went up a little bit. But instead of using that mid-level exception on a wing player, they would now use it on a backup big. And to me, that just seems like a little bit of a wasted opportunity. Like, I think the wing is way more important of a space for the Bulls to upgrade right now. And so going and getting Gobert would allow you to then spend that mid-level on a wing while still improving your center spot. So I go back and forth on it a lot, but right now I just feel like if they want to have a chance to compete, they have to make a big swing, and Gobert is like the only one that actually feels realistic. It's definitely going all in, and that's scary.
Yeah.
But like, people talk about mortgaging the future. Well, what's the future look like if you don't get Gobert? You have, a mediocre 6th seed for the remainder of DeMar DeRozan's career with the Bulls, unless they extend him. But like, he's going to be 33, 34, 35. And then what? I would rather go all in to really try to compete today and be a little bit more uncertain about the future than bank on Patrick Williams becoming LeBron.
So before we move into Hartenstein and Bamba, because there's a lot to unpack there, including the breaking news earlier this morning about the cap change in the NBA that was somewhat unexpected. Let's just quickly touch on John Collins, who was also included in that Matt Moore piece. Joey, can you throw up that little snippet about John Collins of the Atlanta Hawks? The Hawks were said to be shopping two players the most going to draft night, that being Collins and veteran forward Danilo Gallinari. Gallo's been discussed in talks with San Antonio as cap filler, along with the draft pick compensation for DeJounte Murray. Outlets out of Atlanta suggest, however, Collins has said not to be involved in those talks. The Spurs are indeed rebuilding. Trading for Collins makes no sense. Boston, Chicago, and Sacramento are three other teams that have shown interest in Collins, sources have said, over the last few weeks.
Wait, Boston and who?
Chicago!
Okay,
A little surprising, Collins' market isn't stronger. See there what his averages are on a bad Hawks team last year. Proven contributor at a high level in the playoffs. Gives a good effort on both ends of the floor. Just real quick, guys. We haven't talked a lot about John Collins as the Bulls need a front court piece. When he's on the floor, I really like John Collins.
Yeah.
He's a big who plays decent at both ends of the floor. He's a 37% career three-point shooter.
Crazy.
There's a little bit of an injury concern.
Yes.
As far as number of games played, the most in his career thus far was his rookie year. He played 74. His best season statistically was the COVID season of 1920 that got cut short. He only played 41 games that season, averaging 21.5 and 10. I don't know exactly what Atlanta will demand if they're just insistent on moving John Collins. If the Bulls can get him without giving up Patrick Williams, I don't hate that. What about you?
I'm in the middle. I don't hate it. I mean, he's a great player, everything you just mentioned. The 3-point shooting, he answers that question. The toughness by Lawrence, the toughness, the rebounding inside, he answers that question. Versatile big man, on the floor, he answers that question. Athleticism, he answers that question, all of that. My two things are what you said about injury. That's definitely one, because if the most game that you played is your rookie year and you haven't played more games since your first season in the league, that's concerning to me. The other one is I never consider him a big IQ guy. And I love the IQ.
That's true.
And he's never been a big IQ ball player. I've watched him make some really bad mistakes out there on the floor, some really silly mistakes that hurt his team going forward. And certain times he was not even playable.
Yeah.
He wasn't even allowed to be on the floor for the Atlanta Hawks. And so that's tough for me. A guy who can have you average 20 and 10 and shoot like that is unplayable. There's something wrong with that for me. And, yeah, that kind of just throws me off about him. So I'm kind of in the middle. I probably would lean towards no on him, but I'm not going to be mad if they get him.
Zach Lowe also said on the podcast I referred to earlier that the market for Collins is a little drier than you might think and that Hawks fans might not be super happy with the return. Mm-hmm. So if the Bulls are looking at getting him for, really cheap, sure.
Yeah.
But I tend to agree with you. I don't think he is a great player. I think he's a fine player. He put up big numbers on a Hawks team that basically fed him lobs all day from Trae Young. And then immediately when Clint Capella came over, the production dropped way off. I don't think he is capable of playing full-time 5. I don't think he is capable of defending the perimeter full-time 4. So he's a little bit of a tweener in the wrong way. Mm-hmm. I think he's good and he would be helpful, but I don't think and for the right price, sure, but I wouldn't go out and spend all my assets on John Collins.
No,
certainly
don't,
not Patrick
don't
Williams.
empty the closet and throw everything at Atlanta for Collins.
And I'll also say, if I'm the Hawks, I'm trying to consolidate and get a star.
Yeah.
So
what would you have to give up to get Collins? Because he's on that's a big contract, 25 mil a season.
16, 17 million. It would have to be
5 years, 125.
Well, Kobe for sure.
Kobe and something else. I don't know.
And that other reported talks that might exist between Atlanta and San Antonio involving DeJounte Murray. It's if Atlanta's getting DeJounte Murray, then the Hawks are giving San Antonio John Collins and then some, I would assume.
No question about
DeJounte
it.
Murray is a freaking all-star.
He's up to $23.5 million next year. So that is a huge number. I mean, maybe they want Vooch or there's a third team, but I just think that's pretty far-fetched. And like I said, they're going to try to package him with somebody else to go get Bradley Beal or somebody like that, rather than trying to take back another, combo guard scorer type like Kobe.
Mm-hmm.
I did see somebody in the comments mention, wasn't Collins suspended last season? He was. 25 games by the NBA and their anti-drug program after testing positive for a growth hormone.
I remember.
Peptide 2 was that growth hormone. Collins issued a statement that we've probably seen from dozens of NBA players and professional athletes at this point, essentially verbatim, copy-paste saying, I've been incredibly careful about what I put in my body, but I took a supplement which, unbeknownst to me, emphasis on those words, have been contaminated with an illegal component. And then he fought that suspension in arbitration. So, yes, that did happen. I don't think it's necessarily a big red
had
flag.
Athletic Greens instead.
That's it. That's all you need. Them 75 high-quality vitamins, baby.
Yeah.
Those adaptogens. You got to get them in you.
Plenty of adaptogens.
Look at this guy. Look at the thighs on this man. Come on.
This could be Athletic Greens.
It could be. It's green. Green bottle.
Could be.
I don't know. It's a green Athletic Greens bottle right here, as a matter of fact. It's all over, man. It's everywhere. It's everywhere.
You know what? We can't ever be suspended for enjoying our time on PointsBet, Dave.
Segway pack in effect. God dang it. Oh, I love it when he does that. It's the best. And also what's the best is the best way to support what we do here at CHGO. And that's to download that PointsBet app and use that code CHGO when you sign up. Because if you do that right now, you'll get those two risk-free bets up to $2,000. But that's not it. No. If you make a $50 or more first-time deposit, you will receive a free CHGO membership, which unlocks all of that awesome web content, and you'll even get a free T-shirt of your choice from the CHGO locker. And there are some brand new shirts on deck in that locker for you to choose from, y'all, and they are awesome. The Southside Bias, damn. That $2,000 in free bets, a free CHGO membership, a free T-shirt from the CHGO locker, all for making more than a $50 first-time deposit, and you do that at PointsBet. because it is your home for live in-play betting. And guess what it did?
What did it do?
It just got even better.
Oh,
yes, it did. Because you see an edge in the game that you're watching. Your favorite team primed for a comeback, huh? Are they? Well, you don't just watch that game. What you do, you bet along with it. And how do I bet along with it, Dave? Well, you bet along with it live. That's how you do it. More live betting, more live markets, and faster live cash outs. Let me say that again. Faster live cash outs. Cha-ching! Get your paper. Download that PointsBet app right now. Use that code CHGO. That is CHGO when you download that PointsBet app. So what are you waiting for? It's time to elevate your live betting game, because once that game starts, you don't just bet, wheel the thrill. Tell them what they do.
You live your bet life.
Joey, hit them.
How would you blokes like to make some real money?
Paper.
I would.
Yeah, I don't know if we're going
Love
to
a
be using
little
that
green.
sound effect again, but
I like
I'd
it.
I
try
like
it.
it. I enjoy it.
all right, maybe we will.
It's good to keep people on their toes.
I need to do it live.
Got to keep people
sound.
guessing, Joey.
Yeah, do that, Joey.
Ding.
Keep it on them
Hold on, just had to
guessing
check.
one time. That's how you do
Okay,
it.
yep. There was a Stein tweet. Just had to make sure it wasn't anything earth-shattering.
He's got to check. He's always on it. The multitasker.
Keep your
It's
alerts
that
on, people.
time of year.
That time of the year.
It's also the best time of year to try Strava Craft Coffee if you haven't already.
The segue is out of control.
It's helped thousands of people improve their overall wellness and quality of life. Strava delivers delicious, fresh roasted specialty coffee infused with, that's right, organic broad spectrum CBD. CBD, which comes from hemp, doesn't make you high or hungry, but it does offer you real benefits that can help you feel alert and focused without those coffee jitters. Live your day more balanced with less anxiety, fewer aches and pains. Plus, including CBD in your daily routine can even help you enjoy more restful sleep so you wake up feeling your best. You know what I was just thinking about? I could definitely be using my Stravas when we go to Vegas for Summer League, because I'm going to need it. I'm going to need the focus, the alertness, and I'm going to need to be able to sleep at the end of the day. Vegas, you need your sleep in Vegas.
Got to have it.
By that, I mean like maybe 2 hours. The best part is Strava is all about quality. Everything is small batch, fresh, and shipped straight to your door. Strava also offers those concentrated full spectrum CBD tinctures for those looking for a more traditional CBD format with a powerful entourage effect of benefits. CHGO listeners right now get 25% off their order when you use promo code CHGO25 at checkout. That's 25% off your order. It's StravaCraftCoffee.com when you use promo code CHGO25 at checkout.
Yeah.
Woo! All right, moving on. We got more news to cover.
Little news. Speaking of which, we
do.
got a little Woj bomb here. Nothing super crazy, but Bradley Beal has declined his option, which was to be expected. He's probably, almost certainly, going to be signing the Supermax with the Wizards, which I think will be like the largest contract in NBA history. So
That's about right.
Good on him.
Yeah. I can't believe people thought he was giving that up.
No,
It was like, move that. Like, in NBA
it's the
history,
same thing with Zach. Like, he's obviously going to come back, and then if he really wants to move, he'll just demand a trade, and players can go wherever they want now.
Exactly.
That's how it works now.
That's how it goes.
Man, and shout out to Beal's agent, Mark Bartelstein.
Real shout out.
Very familiar name here in Chicago. He's about to get his percent.
He's going to give his check.
Okay, so moving from Matt Moore's latest this morning to Bleacher Report's Jake Fisher's latest update from this morning. By the way, Moore did also throw the Bulls in the ring for PJ Tucker's services. Still not completely nailed down where PJ Tucker's going to end up. Make it happen.
Do it.
We're talking about all these bigs.
Damn it.
Tucker at the 5. Small ball. Come on, Bulls. Make it happen.
Do it for Will.
Drilling corner threes like
Do
crazy.
something for me.
Do something for me. He doesn't get anything for him.
So let's start with Bamba, who Jake Fisher reported, amongst other things, that it's very unlikely at this point that the Magic are going to extend that qualifying offer to Mo Bamba. They're also right now, and we'll talk about him in a second, being linked to the Clippers backup big, who we've talked about, Isaiah Hartenstein. So, where do you guys land on Bamba? Because I know Bulls fans are kind of all over the board, whether or not they think Mo Bamba is a good idea. A big who clearly has incredible shot blocking ability. He has that just, unearthly wingspan.
Yeah.
And he has slowly learned how to bring his offensive game out to the perimeter and knock down some threes, which the Bulls could certainly use.
Yeah.
I don't know if the Bulls need to use the entirety of their mid-level exception of $10.5 or ish million to get Bamba here. I don't know if he's worth that. At the same time, he's still young, just 24 years of age, and he could get better. The thing that concerns me is that every direction of people who pay attention to the NBA have reported here, there, and everywhere that there's always been this lingering question about Bamba and his motor and his love of the game, and I don't like hearing that.
Just before we even get into that, I want to talk about the mid-level for a second.
Let's do it.
With the salary cap rise, it went up to $10.49 million, which is slightly, more than it was before. That's fine. Also, in Jake Fisher's piece this morning, he said that the Bulls are expected to not use the entire mid-level exception. Didn't specify if they weren't willing to use it at all or if they weren't willing to use it on Hartenstein. I think the last thing I want to say on this is that there are a lot of teams with the mid-level exception right now. There are not a lot of teams with cap space. The Spurs, the Magic, and the Pistons now, who are basically just using that as a dumping ground to pick up picks from other teams.
Right.
A lot of teams out there with the full mid-level, a lot of teams out there with the taxpayer mid-level, which is $6.5 million. And there are a handful of good free agents. So I think if the Bulls are going to get one of these guys, they will have to use the full mid-level on them. I've seen a lot of tweets saying, well, maybe they split that between Hartenstein and Bamba, or Bamba and PJ Tucker. I really don't think that's going to happen. I think they have one chance to get a guy like that. Maybe they use the whole thing, maybe they don't. But my guess would be if you're going to get one of these guys, it's going to take the full 10.5.
Yeah, and I'm not going to give that to Bamba, personally. For me, it's for the reason you just said, Matt. He's 24, and for me, he's still a project. We still don't know yet what he truly fully is, and I don't want the Bulls focused on another project that isn't going to be starting, you know what I'm saying, on your team right now. And, yeah, he's had flashes. Like you said, he turned himself to that three-point guy. I still remember that game when he went 6 for 6 in the first half from three. Like, he's had those little moments. But to the fact that you have that length and I don't talk about you as a shot blocker bothers me. You know what I mean? It really does. I talk about your three-point shooting more than I talk about you blocking shots. That's an issue for me. So it's just the fact that I still don't know who he is. He could still become a really excellent ball player. He could become one of those journeymen, big men that we've seen throughout forever in the NBA. But I'm just not ready to commit to another project right now for this team when there are other things I'm more concerned with bringing along, like Patrick Williams, like Dalen Terry, like Ayo, those kind of guys.
Right. And as Sebastian in the comments noted, Bamba's three-point percentage has climbed up a little bit, and he's, around 35% or so, even better than that last season. But almost all of his three-point attempts and makes are above the break. Yeah. He's still disastrously bad from the corners. Yeah. And that's where the Bulls were really lacking three-point efficiency and volume last season was from the corners.
And you know how much Bulls fans are going to love seeing another 7-footer pull up for three about 4 times again. You know how much they love that.
Oh, our boy Kendall's going to love that.
Oh, can't wait.
Anytime he saw Vooch have 6 or more three-point attempts, he had a heart attack.
Can I just say about Bamba, Bulls fans were freaking out about Wendell Carter and how he was not the player they wanted him to be. He stinks. He can't catch the ball. He can't shoot, blah, blah, blah.
Facts.
The Magic went out and traded for Wendell to replace Mo Bamba.
True.
Who they are now basically letting walk for nothing. I don't see why he's such a big upgrade so that he can back up Vooch again.
Wow. Wow.
As I said before, if the Bulls are going to spend their full mid-level on a center, it needs to be somebody who could take over for Vooch after his contract runs out. I think the only guy in the market who could be that guy is Isaiah Hartenstein. Anybody else, I think, would require the full mid-level, and I think that would be close to disaster mode for me, where now you're paying a backup center to be playing 15 minutes a game who isn't going to be the future of the position, and by using that money, you're not going to be able to get a wing, which, again, I've said is the most important thing the Bulls can do this offseason.
Right. To tease that, we are going to talk about some wings when we get to the last segment of this episode, because I know we've been focusing mostly on bigs. Most of the breaking news updates about free agency over the last 24 hours have been about bigs. Yeah. Joker, I see you in the comments yelling TJ Warren's name over and over and over. I see ya. We'll get to it, all right?
And Dom, if you disagree with me, hit me up on Twitter and tell me why, because I'm down to argue about this.
Oh, he disagreed with me earlier too, so it's cool.
I'm ready to.
I disagree.
This was the rant I wanted to go on, the anti-Bamba agenda.
Yes.
Chris Raines in the comments puts it another way. Remo Bamba, who said Bamba will be a 7-footer looking like a baby giraffe in pick and roll defense, hard pass.
Yeah, man. I just am bothered by the fact that he can't block shots.
You're not wrong.
I'm just so bothered by that. Be that long and that big, and I'm like, he's a shooter. That's a problem for me.
He did block 1.7 shots per game last year, which is pretty good. But he's a drop big. He's gonna step over and help from the weak side. He's not gonna defend in space. He's going to be, a drop cover big, and like that's not a change up from what the Bulls have right now. I just don't see how that really helps them, especially when it comes in lieu of a wing. They need wing help. They need shooting.
That's what they need. Joey, are you over here flexing right now? Throwing up pictures of Mo Bamba, man. Are you in flex mode?
Yeah, I saw that.
Okay, all right.
I saw that.
I'm gonna let you do your thing. There it is.
Look,
Baby
he's
Joey with Mo Bamba.
He's sitting down, significantly taller than I am.
You are standing up.
Standing up. He is seated, and it was not even close. So.
Are you in college at this point, Joey?
Yeah, this is my freshman year at UT when he had just declared for the draft, and it was his last day on campus. So,
how was he on campus? Big presence.
Cool guy. Yeah, he's a nice guy. Honestly, saw him a couple of times. Cool. He was a little disappointing for how big of a recruit he was, and they didn't even make the tournament that year. Or they made the tournament, but they were first round exit. Whatever.
Well, hold on. Are you wearing a Knicks shirt in that picture?
I was just
I wore it. I wore it because he's a Knicks fan. He's a New York.
He's from New York.
He's a New York guy.
He's a New York dude.
I'm sorry, that answer does not clear you from wearing a goddamn Knicks shirt.
I can't save you on that one, Joey. Sorry. I can't. I'm sorry. I love you, though.
Sometimes you make it so hard for us to stand up for you, Joey.
But I'm gonna.
Always do, always will.
Yes.
Sometimes you just make it so damn hard. Oh, we love you, buddy.
Oh, yeah.
All right, so let's talk a little bit further about Isaiah Hartenstein then, and then also kind of as a precursor to that, Will, you teased it, Joey. Let's now take a look at that tweet from NBA cap expert Keith Smith, who once again, by the way, we had on the show on Monday. Go to your podcast feeds and take a listen to it. He taught us a lot. That is projected salary cap, luxury tax, and apron for the upcoming 22-23 season. $123.655 million. That's an increase of almost $2 million, $1.5 million or so.
$1.6
luxury tax up to above 150. It was around 149 before this news broke this morning. And then you see the hard cap there listed third. This could actually have a pretty staggering impact on what the Bulls front office can do, might do, and will do this offseason, Will.
Yeah, I was thinking that it might. I need to go through the numbers in more detail and actually get more help from Keith because I can't do math on my own. But it did increase Zach's max contract.
I think
from
212
to 37,
212
to
annual,
215.
and then overall his 5-year went from 212 to 215 and a half.
And it increases, as I said before, the non-taxpayer mid-level up to about $10.5 million. So I do think that there may be a little bit of wiggle room now between the tax and where the Bulls will be after they sign somebody with the mid-level and re-sign Zach to the max. So that could help them a lot. I still think they need to go in the tax if they want to be taken seriously here, but it does have some ramifications on the total cap sheet and how they decide to spend that money.
Drewish in the comments said, I want to see Will's big board for free agents. Then subscribe and get yourself a CHGO membership.
I'll drop the link in the chat here. So
dropped a column of his top 15 free agent Bulls targets this morning.
He did.
Could have read it before we came on to do our show today.
That's right.
And I put a picture of Mo Bamba on the front just to tease people.
Of course you did.
Of course he did.
But also, is it Mitchell Robinson is in that picture as well?
Yeah.
Yeah. Which, by the way, I think I saw somebody in the comments mention that while we're on the topics of bigs.
Yeah.
It's looking more and more like the Knicks are keeping Mitchell Robinson, which is a shame because he was definitely on my pros list.
Yeah.
On my pros and cons list of bigs the Bulls could target, he was in the pros column.
Yeah, definitely.
Love Mitchell Robinson.
Definitely. He was near the top, man. Brings that toughness, that shot blocking ability. He would have been great. Like,
Plus, he's
perfect
not going
backup.
to take Patrick Williams out of the air and break his thumb for a
Exactly.
full season if he's on the same team.
Exactly. Put them on the same team. You have them play for you. You know what I mean? Like, yeah. That's tough. Hartenstein, looking at Orlando, Orlando's moving in on him real tough.
So, and that's part of it. Orlando, depending on what other decisions they make, could even offer Hartenstein more than the mid-level exception. And there you see a Mark Stein tweet saying that they've emerged as the leading suitors to get the Clips big man Hartenstein. I mean, and as Will was just kind of alluding to, they're ready to say goodbye to Mo Bamba, and they could be offering Isaiah Hartenstein the starting center spot.
Yep.
And doing so with more money compared to assuming that Vooch doesn't get sent out in a trade this offseason. They're pitching to Hartenstein the mid-level, so $10 million and change annually over a probably 3, maybe 4-year deal. And for the first year at least, you got to back up Vooch.
Yeah, yeah.
And for someone like Hartenstein, who this past season proved to NBA scouts and executives and fans all over the place, this guy's ready to take the next step.
Yeah.
This looks like a guy ready for a bigger role in the NBA. He wants not only to get paid what he believes to be worth, but he wants a larger role.
Yeah.
And that's all logical, and maybe the Bulls can't offer that as much as Orlando can. I still don't know why, in God's name, anyone would pick living in Florida over Chicago, but I guess that's neither here nor there.
Well, no taxes. That's definitely the main reason.
Yeah, but you got to deal with meth gators, Dave. The meth gators.
And DeSantis.
Is that
the minor league team?
Is non-tax income worth it when you get murdered by a meth gator?
The Fort Lauderdale Meth Gators.
I swear to God, one of their minor league teams is the Meth
minor
Gators.
league squad.
Without a doubt. I love that Joey is Googling that right now.
Oh, he's immediately on it because he's about to create one. He's going to make it up, man. Put him with Walter White. Like, just put him on the van with Walter White and Joey. Oh, he's on. Oh, somebody's on. Oh, my God. That's. Oh, my God.
And this is why the internet is
the bombs,
simultaneously the best and worst place ever.
Oh, man. Yeah, and I just to say it, I do like Hartenstein a lot. Like, how could you not watching his game? The word that I kept coming up with watching him was crafty. Like, he was a crafty scorer, and he uses his frame to score. Like, I love people who are 7 feet tall who know they're 7 feet tall, and he knows he's 7 feet tall, basically over 7 feet. And he uses every frame of it, man, can score with either the right or the left. Yeah, I really like his game. Very crafty, doesn't do anything wrong. Like, everything he does is the right move inside, and I like how he plays, and he would have fit in nicely here on this team, but he fit in nicely too in Orlando playing the center. And you're right, being the man in Orlando, you know what I'm saying, as opposed to the backup here in Chicago, and for the contract they could probably give him.
Right.
Yeah, he can look at that and say, I might want to do that.
I actually don't really get it for Orlando. Like, they just traded for Wendell. They have Paolo Banchero. They have Franz Wagner. They have Jonathan Isaac. Like,
they want all the size.
Yeah, don't they like have enough guys? I mean,
it's like when the Knicks signed 6 mid-tier power forwards in that same offseason a few years ago.
Yes.
Remember that?
Yes,
I get that they would want to try to like hit on the best player, and he could very well be that guy for them. But let me just read you some of the impact numbers because he is an analytics darling, and that's part of the reason why we like him so much here.
Okay.
He has a plus 3.4 EPM, which is in the 93rd percentile of the entire NBA. His true shooting percentage is 67, which is in the 95th percentile of the entire NBA. He is a 89th percentile offensive rebounder, 71st defensive rebounder. He has a 19% assist percentage, really good facilitator, and I think could really like take over for Vooch in those short roll situations. And I think the best part of it is 2.0 steal rate, 5.3 block rate, 81st and 95th percentile. So we're talking about somebody who can really protect the rim, really defend in space, really pass the ball, and finish well. And he's 24, and he played 18 minutes a game on a Clippers team that was missing Kawhi and Paul George for most of the season and still won, 42 games. So I think he's going to be a stud, and I think the reason why he's the exception to the anti-big man agenda for me is that I really believe he could take over as the Bulls starting center as soon as next season.
Yeah. You can see that. Oh, go ahead, man. I know you
We got
something.
another Woj bomb.
No, you got something.
Bulls fans are freaking out about this one. I see people in the comments talking about it. This is from Woj. Milwaukee Bucks forward Bobby Portis has informed the team that he'll decline his $4.6 million option and become a free agent. His agent tell Mark Bartelstein of Priority Sports. Hey, there's Mark again.
Bartelstein is active today.
I'm before anybody gets their hopes too high up, I did read something else earlier this morning that the Bucks and Bobby are already close to working out a deal to keep him in Milwaukee on something like 4 years and a little over $40 million.
Okay.
So it could just be declining to set Bobby up with a new contract because, I mean, he took a budget deal to come back and play with the defending champion Bucks last offseason.
Yes, he did.
When he could have made bank in a lot of other towns.
That's still less money than the deal the Bulls offered him, which he declined.
Yeah.
By about $5 million a year.
Yeah. You know, it was bad for him, but it worked out well. It worked out really well for him. Got a ring out of the situation.
Look, Bobby doesn't necessarily fix your interior defense issue, which I agree with you, Will, from your column this morning, is a little overblown. But, boy, he's just turned into one of the most reliable three-point threats in the NBA over the last couple of seasons. And he's Bobby freaking Portis. Yeah. We love Bobby.
He is a six-man.
We stand Bobby forever.
He's a six-man of the year.
You love Bobby.
For me.
Hashtag Team Bobby. What do you want, Team Nico?
Yeah, he is.
I'm on team anti-big man agenda for now.
All right, so you want to talk about some wings then, Will?
Let's talk about some wings.
All right, cool. Before we talk about some wings, Big Dave, hit the people with the Owen.
Oh, get him right there, man. He is on fire with the segues in this, man. And he's right, because Owen is what you need in your life. That rhymed. Owen is 100% plant-based protein shake that gives you nutrition that works as hard as you do. As he does, as you do, as you do, as you in the back, as her in the back, all of y'all works as hard as you do, y'all. All of their products are free of artificial ingredients, allergen-friendly, no gluten or dairy, and for all the people with the tummy issues, it's easily digestible. And guess who I found out it from? Take a guess. Guess who told me about it? Guess what I found out? Guess what I found out?
Who?
Justin Fields, QB1 of the Chicago Bears. That's what I found out because he's down with this. It's delicious. He loves it. I think he loves the strawberry banana. That's what I'm going to say. Touchdown.
Who doesn't?
Who doesn't? What's wrong with you? You don't like strawberry banana. Oh, my goodness. Owen and CHGO have partnered to give you an awesome offer, ladies and gentlemen. You can get 20% off your first purchase at liveowen.com with that code CHGO20. That's CHGO20 at liveowen.com. And why should I use it, Dave? Because it tastes good. Is there other reasons I should do it? Because it's allergen friendly? Well, there's got to be another reason I should do it. You know why? Because Owens.
Wait for it.
Owen. Hey! Dramatic pause there.
Oh, man.
I you know what I like so much about that? It was dead air, and Jake said, wait a minute, nobody's talking. He turned around like, wait, nobody's saying anything. What is going on here?
Don't scare Papa Jake like that,
I apologize,
man.
Coach. Strawberry banana's legit.
Also,
Do they have any
dramatic
peanut butter
pause is
flavors?
way longer than normal.
Yeah, I know. I did it for Will.
People are already on edge, Dave.
I did it for Will. Will.
I'm on the website right now looking for peanut butter flavors.
He's on it.
I have an addiction to peanut butter.
It's not a bad thing.
There are way worse things to be addicted to.
Correct. And you're going to save yourself 20%.
I'm going to save myself 20%. I'm literally doing it right now.
Use that code, CHGO, y'all. Get yourself 20% off of liveowen.com.
Thank you, Dave.
You're welcome, Matt.
Will, you have some very enticing names of wings in your top 15 free agent list column from this morning at allchgo.com. Which one do you want to start with? Which one is the most intriguing to you if the Bulls opt to spend MLE kinds of money on a wing instead of a big?
I would say number one, I have it listed in opposite order here, but I'm going to change it up. Okay. Number one for me would be TJ Warren. He has not really played in a few years due to injury, but he's 28 years old. He is a big-time scorer. He can shoot the ball at a high level. He had a 50-point game in the bubble a couple years ago.
He did.
And he is a 6'8" defensive wing. Like, they need that. They need everything about that.
Yeah.
And he would slot in easily as a starting power forward if he's ready to go and healthy, move Patrick Williams back to a bench role and sort of give him more runway to develop, which I think would be really useful. Potentially go small ball, as you know I love.
You do.
I think he would be the perfect fit. I think he could potentially go back to Indiana. I think he'll probably have his pick of the litter in terms of teams with the full mid-level. And as I said before, it's not guaranteed that the Bulls even spend the full mid-level, so maybe he's out of the question. But I think that would be best case scenario for me is TJ Warren, age 28, 6'8" wing, who can really score the ball.
Because, your boy Jimmy Butler does not get along with TJ Warren, man.
Yeah, but I put the Bulls in front of Jimmy.
I like that. That's the answer I want to hear right there. Right there. Bulls
Plus, it
first.
would make the Bulls Heat games all the more interesting.
Oh, my God. Yes, it would. Yes, it absolutely
Which are
would.
always interesting enough out of the gate.
Yeah.
There's never a boring Bulls Heat matchup, even in the regular season.
Wow, you're right.
What do you guys think about Tony Jr.? Tony Warren Jr.
I think he's a really good player. I wouldn't be upset if the Bulls found a way to bring him here.
So he hasn't played the last 2 seasons, but 19-20, he averaged 20 points per game, 4 rebounds, an assist and a half, a steal, and shot 53, 40, 82.
It's pretty good.
Yeah, well, but
And he's 6'8".
But
just one more time, tell us how you started that sentence.
yes.
Yeah, the health thing.
Yeah, about how he hasn't played in 2 years.
I get it. Okay, but so here's my number 2 guy, PJ Tucker. Would you rather pay TJ Warren and hope he gets healthy, or PJ Tucker when he's 40 years old, $10 million a year? He'll literally be 40 years old on the last year of this deal.
I want 36-year-old PJ Tucker for 3 years. That's what I want.
That is not how
I know that's not how time and space works, but that's what I want. Yeah. Why is it so hard? Why is it so much to ask? I get your point. The idea of paying a 40-year-old PJ Tucker $10+ million is a giant what if of can he still move on an NBA floor when he's 40? But hey, man. Professional athletes have been knocking down that 40 wall all over the place in recent years.
This is very, very true, man. We got a lot of 40-year-old players in the NBA still contributing very well. Chris Paul.
Paul's 37.
He's 40. He's
LeBron's
NBA 40.
37.
He's NBA 40.
40 is so old.
It's NBA 40.
And
37
his
is NBA
volume
40.
is way down. He had a couple of really bad seasons. He definitely came back this past year with Miami. But, I think that's a huge risk. And, he'd be great. They could play small with him. He could switch. I'm definitely not anti. I think it'd be great, but I just think that's what edges TJ Warren ahead for me.
It's just the injuries. I think that's the biggest thing because I think the Bulls, we don't want to go through that again, dealing with the injuries of another player that will become dependent on because they're really, really good. You know what I mean? And I think PJ Tucker, if he gets injured, I think you can still continue on because he's definitely going to be a piece that helps you. You know what I mean? He's done it his whole career. But if he goes out, I think you'll still be okay. Whereas TJ Warren, like you said, is the dude who can give you 20 and 10 out there. I will be dependent on that. You know what I mean? Not being there out there every single night. So him going down, that's going to hurt my team. You know what I mean?
Yeah, injuries, man.
Injuries stink.
We've only got 10, maybe 15 minutes left, so let's move on.
Okay.
Other names that I loved seeing on this list of yours, Will, were the Martin twins.
Yes,
Caleb
I'm glad you brought them up.
I want to get your thoughts on them real quick.
They're a little bit smaller, which is why I have them a little lower on my board.
Okay.
The Bulls have so many 6'5" guys. But here are 2 more. I think it'd be really cool to get
That was awesome.
I think it'd be really cool to package them into give them both the full MLE and just let them split it however they want. The Suns did this with Morris twins a couple years ago, just to let them play together.
Yeah.
I think it'd be really fun. Defensive-minded wings who shoot threes.
Right.
Caleb is a little bit better in terms of defense and 3. Cody can handle the ball and facilitate a little bit more.
True.
I think they'd be fantastic fits. And just the idea of getting 2 of those guys is really appealing.
That's something that the Step Brothers also did, right? When they were going in to interview for that job to be janitors.
Yes.
The Burke brothers, you mean?
Yes. And Mac and Charlie from It's Always Sunny.
They did do that.
Yeah.
Oh, my God.
When they got jobs in the mailroom, they're like, we'll split minimum wage. It's fine.
Is that why he had his arms out? Is that the same when he had his arms out during the interview? Oh, my God.
The mail never stops.
It never stops. It's always going. It's going.
Pepe Sylvia, I got boxes of Pepe.
Smoking cigarettes.
Can we talk about the mail for a second, Mac? I'm tired of talking about the mail. That's going to be me on like cup of coffee number 6 tomorrow at about 5 o'clock.
He's going to be losing it.
Losing my mind.
Going insane.
Free agency.
That's what it does.
You're probably going to be so happy that we're going to be hundreds of miles apart.
This is true.
And only talking over a 2-dimensional screen.
But this is how we usually do, anyway, when free agency happens, man. Phones will be going off. They'll be buzzing hard. And I'm just excited for it, honestly, man. It's an exciting time. It's like NBA Christmas. It really is. Who's getting the gift? You know what I mean?
Better be the Bulls.
Better be the Bulls. We want the move. And I think they're going to make the move.
You think so? That was my question
do
to
too.
you guys is like, 1, do you think a real move is coming?
Yeah.
And 2, how pissed will you be if nothing happens?
Okay, I wouldn't be super pissed, but I'd be upset because I want something to happen.
I think they need something to happen.
But
when you say nothing, are you saying that like they use either a part of the or all of the mid-level exception and or their traded player exception from the Tice trade last year, but it's just an underwhelming, not exciting name? Would you qualify that as doing nothing?
I would qualify it as making a move that does not significantly impact winning.
Okay.
All right. I see that.
Okay, but like even then, I'm still not all the way with you because what may not appear to be tomorrow or Friday as a significant push farther toward championship winning.
I'm not talking about tomorrow specifically. Just this free agency period.
Right, okay.
I want to see something.
But so, again, what I was going to say is, though, if it appears to be a move that is modest and not a big move of the needle kind of move, we don't really know that until they start playing games next season.
This is true.
Sometimes the exactly perfect, modest addition to your roster can make worlds of difference.
It's true, it can. But I will say this. Watching AK and Eversley in these off seasons, they've swung hard every single time.
It's true.
And I wouldn't. That's why I'm expecting nothing less them to continue to do that and to go for it. AK has said it a million times. He was like, well, this is how do you win? He was like, how do you build your team? You do it through 3 phases. You do it through trades, you do it through draft, and you do it through free agency. Well, he's already done the free agency. I'm sorry, he's already done the draft. He's gotten the player there. Now it's time for the trades and the free agency. So he's not going to neglect the other 2 things that he says helps build a contending basketball team. That's why I'm like, he's going to make the deal. Like, it's going to happen.
Like, and I think the other thing between his availability with the media at Dalen Terry's introductory press conference, which you talked a little bit about yesterday's episode, and also he did a radio hit earlier in the week, right after the draft last week, has been doubling down on this idea of consistency. And people hearing that and thinking that means we're just going to run it back.
Right.
Get Zach healthy, get Lonzo healthy, we're running it back. I think there's a non-zero chance that to a certain extent that's what he means, but also don't believe for a second that he and or Mark Eversley and their staff are not right now holding 8 different phones up to each of their ears, trying to make shit happen.
Yes, exactly right.
And I'm not saying like make a move for the sake of making a move. Like,
right, because I hate that.
Don't do something that would be just too risky. Like, and if those are the options, I'll understand. I'm not gonna like accuse them of not trying to do anything. Like sometimes at the trade deadline, for example, like the deal wasn't there, and that was okay. It turned out well.
Yeah.
But I really do think that they are in a position now where if they're not actively getting better, they're getting worse. And I don't want to see that.
Yeah. I'm with whatever they want to do. I've been saying it from the beginning. I'm gonna continue to say
like,
it.
for example,
whatever they want to do.
Signing one of the Martin twins or something, like I would say that's an impact move. That adds a ton of depth. It adds shooting. I think that is, it'd be awesome to like go get a superstar. Yeah. I'm not saying that like a really good role player into the mid-level exception is not qualify as a impact move.
Right.
Going back to Warren for a second, Charles in the comments said, what player ever came back to play well after missing 2 years? I'll use one team and give you 3 examples. Sean Livingston, Kevin Durant, Klay Thompson.
Just saw it this year.
Okay. But again, Dave and I both have our concerns about T.J. Warren. I'm just saying there are examples.
Because it's still, it's T.J. Warren.
A couple of names that I see on Will's list. Former Bull. 2 former Bulls. Brief former Bull Gary Harris from the Doug McDermott draft night trade.
I wanted him.
Here we go.
And Otto Porter Jr.
Who's that?
Speaking of the Golden
Put
State
some
Warriors
respect
champions,
on his name. NBA champion.
I will put nothing but respect. Nope, never mind. Scratch that sentence.
He already said it. Can't take it back.
I will put no respect on Otto Porter's name.
Okay.
I will, if he wants me to, pour champagne in his mouth.
Wow.
That seems to be the thing that makes Otto
Interesting
Porter Jr.
trade-off.
the most happy on the planet.
Interesting trade-off.
Very interesting. Oh my goodness.
Has he stopped drinking champagne since they won Game 6
I mean,
a
would
week
you?
ago?
Would you?
Probably not.
Probably not. Yeah.
He can do whatever he wants.
Yeah, he's good.
Explain yourself, Will.
If the Bulls
Kirk
had an
brother.
opportunity to get a 29-year-old 6'8" forward who shoots roughly 40% on threes, I would say they should go out and do it. I know the Otto Porter experiment didn't work, but let's look at the context here. He was significantly overpaid because of a poison pill offer sheet. He was injured for the 2 full years that he was with the Bulls, and the Bulls weren't a serious team, so he wasn't taking it seriously. He took less money to go prove it with the Warriors. He did, and now he deserves to get a mid-level contract.
And now he's got his ring and probably wants to just go back to
yes.
collecting a paycheck.
That's exactly what's
I
going to happen.
just don't think it's fair to assume that. I think
You know what's not fair? Otto Porter Jr. arriving in Chicago and doing diddly shit to help us. Yeah,
I'm not
maybe
gonna win
that's
this
still
one.
not over that one.
Doing what now?
Diddly shit.
Dude, no, listen.
Get him out of here.
When Otto Porter
I almost
Jr.
deleted the Otto clip when I was editing this column of Will's yesterday. I was like,
His
I just
hatred
wanna
is that strong.
Erase his
He almost
name.
erased him, like changed his entire article.
But Bobby Portis, who
Deleted.
just runs around like a chicken with his head cut off and plays no defense, is okay.
You know, he's almost 6th man of the year kind of consideration, though. Like, Bobby Portis is super fit. Like, Otto Porter Jr., we're talking about 1 year that he had with a great team.
I don't deny that what Otto gave the Warriors this season was incredible and necessary. He
And
hit big
predictable.
shots and played defense and grabbed rebounds and did all the things that we thought he was going to do here. And he got himself a ring because of it.
He did.
As
Yes,
soon as he
period.
steps off the plane in Chicago, he's going to gain 20 pounds and sprain his ankle. Guaranteed.
I think
All right.
it's time for him to get his check. He's shown he's done the prove it thing, and now he's like, yo, I'm going to get this check now. I really thought that was his whole thing. Why
Well,
he
he's
went to
gotten the
Golden
check
State.
too. I think it's time for him to be on a reasonable deal, which I think the mid-level is.
No, because I think he knows this is his last go round at real money.
Yeah.
And that's why I thought he was going to have a good season at Golden State and remain fairly healthy, because I thought that's what it was going to be.
Joseph.
Joey's working on some
Oh my
real-time
God.
Photoshop magic right here.
It went exactly like I thought it was going to go for him in Golden State. It really did. I thought he was going to be relatively healthy and be impactful on a winning team.
They need championship pedigree, and he has it.
Oh, don't do this, Will. Why? Why are you doing this? Stop it. Oh, my God. Can people see this?
Championship
Okay.
pedigree.
I need that
mean,
on a shirt. Championship pedigree.
Dog mentality.
Diddly shit.
What dog?
He needs to get Bulls across his chest again. He had Warriors
Okay.
across
Well,
his chest.
Will, you're going off.
Now you're crossing
what is
a
this,
line.
man? What is going on?
You are crossing
You're
a
supposed
line.
to be brothers.
As
all
you can
right?
see, he does not have bulls across his chest. He has diddly shit across his back. Diddly
shit.
I am
Not a
I
fan.
am headed up to here, Will.
Not a fan.
There's
Not
nothing.
a fan. There it is. That hat has
There's
been
nothing I
thrown.
can do about that.
Yeah, no, I don't want Otto Porter Jr. And I think he's going to get his money. I really do. I think.
But
some
you
team's
would
gonna
be,
pay him.
you would be, if the Bulls did it, you would get on board. I know that about you.
with Otto Porter Jr.
Yeah.
No,
Yeah, you would.
I wouldn't. Honestly,
You have faith in AK.
I do. I have undying faith in AK.
So if they did that, you would be
Undying
on board. I can promise
faith.
you
Big
that.
Dave would go buy an Otto Porter nameplate and put it above his seat in the van.
He'll buy a
He'd say,
diddly
"We have this
shit
seat.
jersey.
We've got this waiting for you." Okay.
ready. I'm talking about on deck. It's the
If-
same thing I did with Felicio.
If Otto Porter does re-sign with the Bulls, we need to get Matt a custom diddly shit jersey.
Yes.
No.
Agreed.
No.
Agreed. You would wear a diddly shit jersey. You know you would.
That would actually be- that would actually be really funny.
There's absolutely no way you would not walk around
Also-
with the Otto Porter Jr. diddly shit jersey. You absolutely would, and you know it.
Yeah, but would it be an auto jersey or a campaign jersey?
Either one, you'll be cool with. Either way.
Also, get a Bulls jersey with a number 3 on the back and have a Dwayne Wade diddly shit.
Just gotta throw it.
Dwayne diddly.
He's retired.
Dwayne diddly shit.
Doesn't even play anymore.
Dwayne diddly shit.
He doesn't even play anymore. Still in his brain.
Biggest waste of money I've ever seen in my life.
Congratulations on getting paid.
We're out of time, unfortunately, guys, but that's okay. We are now 25 hours away from the start of free agency. 1 hour in to free agency, a.k.a. tomorrow, 6 p.m. Chicago time.
Yes.
1 hour into the free agency window opening, we will do a live show. We won't be here in studio. We will be remote, but we will be live on our CHGO Sports YouTube channel talking about any news that has broken in that first hour of free agency and what might still lie ahead.
Yes.
And anything else Bulls or breaking news NBA related. I can't wait, guys.
I'm so excited.
And as of right now, the plan
It's all going to happen.
is for our guy Mark
fun.
K to join us.
Mark K is going to be here too.
Hi, Mark.
Oh, more.
In the meantime, everybody's going to be on Twitter for the next 24 hours, so
See you there.
we'll be there. Bulls_Peck, Bow, BWL Sports, Won't Gottlieb. We are CHGO_Bulls. Shout out and thanks to our producer, Joey, for always running those controls
For the
beautifully.
jersey.
I think I might change my Twitter handle to No Bamba.
No Bamba.
I thought you were going to say diddly shit. Honestly. I really did.
And one more reminder, go read Will's top 15 free agent Bulls targets on allchgo.com right now. And Mark K has a column dropping for you guys tomorrow morning with more deets and info about free agency and what the Bulls have ahead of them.
This is true.
Until then, thanks y'all for tuning in. As always, if you enjoyed that episode, hit that thumbs up button underneath the video. It helps us out a lot. We appreciate you. We love you. See you right. Be good.
Thank you, Al.